some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors.
Dale Jackson here for Yellowhammer Now. Let's talk a little bit about the constant need of faith leaders to interject themselves into the immigration debate. And you'll notice they never find themselves interjecting themselves on the side of people who are harmed by illegal immigration. It is always on the side of the lawbreakers who have come to this country illegally and are committing crimes in just coming here. Yes, that is a crime. And then other crimes once they get here, including working when they are not allowed to, thus causing wages to go down and be suppressed. But they don't care about any of that because it is constantly about how we can take in more and how God would want us to do just that. And they use their faith and they weaponize it against their parishioners, and they try to make them feel bad about it. Well, they don't look out for them. Instead, we're looking out for people who are breaking our laws. In Mobile, there are calls for compassion. And this compassion should come in the form of letting people do whatever they want, even though recently we have Tren de Agua being arrested down in Mobile. And those individuals are now probably going to get deported. And I'm sure this upsets the people at this church very, very much. But what I love about all of this is not only the fact that we have churches getting involved all over the place, we have members of the media who are often silent about this or promoting that interference as if it's a good thing. And it's not just happening in Alabama, because in Tennessee, they have an awesome bill that recently passed one of the bodies of the legislature up there that says, hey, we're going to stop providing school for all of these illegals because it's costing us a bunch of money that our citizens should be able to utilize to educate their children. And guess what? Faith leaders have a problem with that.
Recognized on Senate bill. Remove them.
Those tense moments followed the passage of Senate Bill 836. Sponsored by Senator Bo Watson of Hickson, it passed the Senate by a 19-13 vote. If it's signed into law, it would allow local schools to decide whether or not to enroll undocumented students and charge them tuition instead of guaranteeing a spot.
While immigration is a federal responsibility, states have a role to play, and I quote again from Plyler, to protect its fiscal interests.
Senator Watson said that providing ESL courses raises the cost of education by $3,500 per student, costing the state tens of millions of dollars. However, a couple of other Republicans didn't see eye to eye with the senator, including fellow Hamilton County Senator Todd Gardenhire.
But I think this is a bill that we do not need in the state of Tennessee, and that it will not pay dividends in the future for the children.
Criticism of the bill is continuing to increase from outside the walls of the Tennessee General Assembly, including from local faith leaders right here in Chattanooga.
And as a Christian, I take seriously Jesus' command for us to love our neighbors and the scripture's clear call about welcoming the stranger in our midst.
And yes, surely there is no doubt that they will keep us updated on this story as people constantly are utilizing their faith as a weapon against other people, and not in the way that you think it's being utilized. Because if it was being utilized in the way you think it's being utilized, you'd see stuff like this from J.D. Crowe, an article that is written that includes an image where he talks about snake handlers in the Alabama legislature. Why? Well, because in the Alabama legislature, they want to pass bills that say what? What do the bills say, J.D. Crowe? Do you even know? Because what they actually say is you can get credit in high school for religious courses you take at no cost to the system at all. He's mad about that. And a prayer time that could be made available for the school system. But obviously, you have a huge problem with that as well, because injecting religion at all into government and making decisions based on that religion is a violation of the separation of church and state, something J.D. Crowe could not explain even if he wanted to, but he doesn't have to, because he draws his little stupid cartoon and then he walks away like the coward that he is. You'll notice when religion is being used by people who want to import illegal immigrants, they gladly accept it or they promote it. If it's being used by the population that is overwhelmingly religious to guide their government, they are offended by that. Now, I don't even agree with these bills that J.D. Crowe thinks he's talking about in the Alabama legislature, but I would explain why I have a problem with them, as I do regularly on all my shows. I would not refer to the people who are promoting them as snake handlers, because I'm not a pathetic loser who can't actually make an argument. I'm a human being that can use my voice just like anyone else to express my opinion without absolutely slandering and maligning people. And you'll note I didn't say criticizing, because feel free to criticize these people all you want, but referring to them as snake handlers is so incredibly wrong and dismissive of their faith that nobody should ever listen to J.D. Crowe or anything AL.com says about people of faith ever again.
Every year in Alabama, we miss out on between $65 and $90 million in tax revenue by not legalizing sports betting here in our state. Money that can be used to improve our roads and bridges, or elevate our school systems and support our first responders. Contact your legislator to ensure sports betting is legalized in Alabama. Learn more at betonalabama.com.